What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Today I want to talk to you about my expectations for the Chiefs this upcoming season. I'll see you on the other side.
Touchdown! Kansas City! One of the greatest duos in the history of the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce on a push fade comeback. And the Chiefs have won this incredible divisional playoff game in overtime.
All right, guys, so here we go. We're going to talk about expectations for the Chiefs. Before we do that, give me 1 minute of your time just to talk about channel stuff. I want to thank everybody that's been supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. It's growing a little bit faster than I expected, and that's all because of you guys. So like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But what I really want to do is ask you for your feedback. Please comment and let me know what I'm doing well and what I need to do better. I'm happy to adjust. I'm a coachable guy. With that, hey, I actually got that in a lot less than a minute. We're going to go right into expectations of the team. So I think the reason I wanted to make an expectations video is to really kind of plant a seed out there for the folks that watch and say, guys, be careful about setting your expectations too high because it's a really tough schedule. We could struggle at times during the schedule, and I think we will struggle at times during the schedule, but that doesn't mean you're not going to make the playoffs. Doesn't mean the team sucks. It doesn't mean Andy Reid sucks. And just, you know, the more reactionary, obnoxious fans out there aren't going to be watching a video like this anyway. It's probably the deeper fans that are watching this kind of stuff, so I'm probably kind of preaching to the choir a little bit. But spread around to your friends that, hey, this schedule's tough, man, and I wouldn't be surprised, since we're talking about the schedule, I'm not going to talk about it a long time. This isn't like a schedule show. I don't really like those personally. But I am going to pull up the schedules just so we can go over it together really quick. This first quarter of the season here is really, really tough, and that's kind of what I'm looking at, right? Is 3 of your first 4 games are on the road against all 4 tough opponents. I think my prediction, based on not a lot of facts right now, because all we've seen is dudes playing football in shorts, which isn't how you play football. I think we're gonna go 2-2 out of that first quarter. I think we're gonna beat the Cardinals. I think they've got some internal issues going on and probably won't come out focused, but you never know. So I think that's a win. I think the Chargers are a win on Thursday night at Arrowhead, mainly because it's at Arrowhead. I'm not discounting that they're a good football team. I like a lot of the moves they made. They got a great roster, but they got to go out and prove it at some point. And they're notorious for slow starts. They're kind of like us being notorious for bad run defense, which brings me into the Colts. I'm going to say that's our first loss. I'm going to say we're going to go to Indianapolis. The Colts are going to establish Jonathan Taylor against us. Matt Ryan's going to look like Matt Ryan from 5 years ago, and we're gonna have some problems in there. That's my prediction. Could it go the other way? Could they be struggling and not gelling well with Matt Ryan, and they don't really have a great receiving core? So yeah, we could go in there and knock the crap out of them, and that wouldn't surprise me. But it's just my prediction right now that Colts game is going to be our first struggle. And then if you go into week 4, Tom Brady into Tampa Bay, and everything's going right with them, and we're coming off of a little bit of a struggle. Tom Brady's going to break that tape down and see where we struggled and probably try to do a lot of the same stuff. They have a decent running back there. They have some big hog mollies up front that can run block. So I could see us dropping 2. 1 to the Colts, 1 to the Bucks. And then I could see the national media just jumping all over that and saying, oh, the Chiefs are done. This isn't the same team. Tyreek Hill made this team, and now without Tyreek, the Chiefs just aren't the same. Patrick looks sloppy. He's not connecting with his new receivers. And I'm saying all this stuff for a reason, guys, so it sounds familiar when you hear it. And you're just like, oh, yeah, Joe told me this was going to happen. Because I think it'll be pretty quick to get back in track. But we could start. It's conceivable, that I think we'll beat the Raiders on Monday night. It's conceivable we drop that game to the Bills. That's a really good football team. We've been neck and neck. Obviously, last playoffs was a crazy game. So we could drop that game to them. I wouldn't be surprised. So then you're sitting there 3-3. Then you go 3-3 into San Francisco, and I don't think Chiefs fans have a lot of patience for 3-3 records anymore. I think if we were for some reason going to San Francisco and they were running the ball on us going into the bye week, if we went in 3-4, the entire fan base would be into panic and fire Spags, which I'm on board with that, but not as a reactionary thing. I just don't like Spags as a coach. I like him as a guy. He's a good guy. I'm not saying anything bad about him. Just, I don't share the same philosophies as him. I like odd fronts. He likes even fronts. Some of the stuff he does with coverages are like, I don't even understand why you're doing that at the time that he does it. But anyway, I could see if we go into the bye week at 3-4, everybody being panicked and saying fire Spags, fire Andy Reid. Tyreek was, why'd we get rid of him? Now everybody's got to go. Screw Veach and all. You know how people are. So just caution yourself against that. We could also go into the bye week at 4-3 or even 5-2, and I think things would be a lot brighter and a sunnier disposition in the fan base if that was the case. But coming out of the bye week, I think you beat the Titans. Andy usually wins coming out of the bye week. I think you beat the Jags, so you got on a little 2-game rolling streak there. So if you did go in 3-4, now you're 5-4, and I think you can beat the Chargers. So now you're 6-4, and 6-4 sounds a lot better than 3-4. The Rams will be tough. They could beat us, so then you take a step backwards, and then you're kind of panicky going into the Bengals game. But that last quarter of the season, or what I'm calling the last quarter of the season, the last 5 games, I think you win all those. And if you can win all those last 5 games, then I think you're set up to be in a pretty good position. My overall prediction is that we will be a 13-4 football team. I'm not gonna sit there and count each game that I counted as a win or whatever. I think here you go. There's a 2-2 right there. I think you're gonna get 2 of these games. I don't think San Francisco is gonna beat us. I think you might lose to the Bills, but you might not. I think that's a win. That's a win. Anyway, I said I wasn't gonna do this, but now I'm doing it. I think you beat the Chargers, might lose to the Rams, will beat the Bengals. I think we're gonna have a bone to pick, and that's the game on the schedule that I'm circling and that I'm most excited for, because frankly, I find the Bengals fans to be a little bit annoying and high and mighty after they've been trash for decades. And I get it. We had the same kind of problem, not nearly as bad as the Bengals, but they were just downtrodden for many years, and now they have something to celebrate about, and I think they've just gone a little bit too far for it, for my taste. Be a little humble, dude. Like, you guys still got work to do. I think we'll go in there with an attitude, and I think we'll stomp on the Bengals. I personally do. If we don't, then the Bengals have a recipe for us, and 3 games in a row losing to the Bengals, we got to worry about that. And then I already told you, I think we'll beat all 5 of those last teams. So anyway, I'm not going to sit there and do all the math stuff. I think just the main point is I really do believe that we could struggle a little bit out of the gate, and I think that would almost be expected with all the new faces. The offense is going to be ran a little bit differently. It's going to be all the same plays and stuff. It's, and Andy always adds stuff, but it's going to be the same basic offense, built on with some new wrinkles and some new ways of calling stuff. And I think we'll see certain schemes, certain route combinations called more than we used to. Hopefully we see a little bit more of the running game. Hopefully one of these running backs can establish himself. And honestly, if Clyde Edwards-Helaire comes out and plays like a first-round pick running back, we could really, the whole league will be in trouble. I'll tell you that. If we can come out and run on a consistent basis, and I'm not quite like Ryan over at RGR. I don't want us to just line up with 15 fullbacks and just run the ball all the time, man. But I think some big runs would really change this football team. So if you start to see that, that would change my expectations pretty quickly. I worry a little bit about the defense too. I think it'll take time for them to gel. And as I mentioned, I think, teams could run on us a little bit. And if we start to see teams running on us, we're going to have to adjust to that. Spags has done an okay job of adjusting, but I also think sometimes, he gets credit for making great adjustments when actually we just hit a nice patch in the schedule. So that could happen this year too, by the end of the year. Let's say we go in and beat the Bengals just like I said, and we really go in there motivated and just kind of dominate. Then you could win those last 5 games as well, and everybody could be talking about how great this defense is when it's really not quite as good as maybe they appear to be. And I think that's happened to us in past seasons. So those are my thoughts, guys. But hey, listen, I would love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear. Go down and comment right now. Let me know, how many games do you think the Chiefs are going to win this year? Let me know what you're scared about, what you're not so scared about, what you think our strength is, what you think our weakness is, and let's talk about that kind of stuff. And I would love to have a good conversation. That's kind of like I said. I want to build a community over here at this channel. That's my main purpose behind this channel, is to build something where we can all talk about our Chiefs. And ideally, I would, if other fan bases can behave themselves and not be complete trolls or dorks, then yeah, come on over and have a conversation with us, because I don't mind talking about other teams as well, but especially AFC West teams. And I love being in the AFC West. It's such a cool division, got some great rivalries, and I think those other teams invested a lot of capital in being able to bring some parity back to our division. And I think this division is going to be a lot tougher this year. I think everybody thinks that. So I'm looking forward to a little bit of a struggle, but don't get it twisted. I definitely want to still dominate the division. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end on that one. Like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Poison's gonna chew you from the inside out. So right now, say it with your chest now. Say it with your chest now.